Hogwarts Legacy. Why are you not playing it?
Hogwarts Legacy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Hogwarts Legacy.
We gotta review that game, actually.
I agree about that. I just haven't gotten around to it, okay? It's on my docket, though. It's on my...
You seem bowed by it.
God, you say that a lot.
You
seem bowed by the last time I was
You seem bowed by it. You're just a hard man to read, I guess. I think Nick is difficult to read.
His physicalities when he watches things seem bowed, even if he's not.
Oh my god, sometimes. Yes. But it's also, I think, partially because you have ADHD, so I just see you, like, doing other stuff. Like, even
undiagnosed. Put that on the record. Undiagnosed ADHD.
Yeah. Speaking of which, last night, when we were at the movie theater last night, which... I think you were bowed, but you seemed physically bowed the whole time. But I was like, I was actually thinking, he looked this way during the first episode of The Last of Us when Hudson said you seemed bowed. So
Thank you!
Because you'll be like with your fist on your cheek, and you're just like leaning to the side, you're like,
yeah. So even when you're happy, you look bowed.
Well, I did notice, like, when I was watching Ant-Man, like, my arms were crossed, and I was just staring, and my eyes were glazing over, like, I was pissed.
Yeah.
But that's different than, like, being relaxed. Like, when I was watching Last of Us Episode 1, I was relaxed.
Yeah.
When I was watching Ant-Man, I was physically, like, spewing hatred at them.
I did notice that. Great segue into the boys take Holly-wEiRd reviewing Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. I'm Brandon.
I'm Nick.
Hudson.
This is our spoiler-free...
Don't sound so excited, Hud.
Just thinking about the movie.
Spoiler-free, yeah. This is our spoiler-free video, so we will not be ruining anything for you.
Yeah.
We'll let the movie ruin things for you.
Just a little warning, though. There are some kids playing behind us, so if you hear some kids screaming...
Yeah. Yep.
They're just... Wow.
That sounds suspicious.
Yeah, that sounds super suspicious.
I don't want you to get the wrong idea of us, but
if you hear kids screaming, do not report it.
Yeah, don't open any of the other doors in our apartment.
All right.
Don't do over the line.
Moving on. So...
Ant-Man. Holly got real weird last night with that movie.
Holly got real
Am I right, boys?
I agree about that. Like how we're all doing the same.
Yeah, let me
stretch and pose. Just
let me just tell you, I hated it. I think
I said this last night, and I think you guys agreed partially, but the whole vibe around the movie was Star Wars meets Men in Black meets Ant-Man,
and all worse than those things originally did on their own. Unfortunately.
Yeah. When you try to combine the three, for some reason, it just doesn't work.
And it really makes you extra angry when you remember the fact that Disney owns Star Wars and Marvel, so it feels extra lazy to make it feel as Star Wars as it did.
There were just so many plot holes in it. So many plot holes. And things that we were just supposed to, like, forget about it. Like, really? I don't know.
Yeah. Everything happened very fast. Like, the plot began within the first 10 minutes of the movie.
It did.
And we're just thrown into some bull crap for a good 40 minutes until we are actually introduced to the main villain.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucked.
The first
40 minutes of the movie is definitely the worst part, in my opinion.
I think the first 10 minutes before things really get started, I was kind of into it because it's just like you're getting back into the character. You're seeing
and we're in the real world.
Like. Exactly. Yeah. And it feels just like traditional Ant-Man, and you got Paul Rudd. And then...
Yeah, we were on Earth.
And then you get like a half hour of just... I was completely checked out, and then Kang brought me back in.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of hit or miss the rest of the movie from there. But there was about a half hour there where I got to the point where I was like, I kind of wish I wasn't here right now.
Yeah, and I knew it was going to be bad. I just had no idea it was going to be that bad. Like this, it's the same way I felt about Rise of Skywalker. I went into that movie knowing it was going to be bad, but I was shocked at how absolutely terrible it was. The first 40 minutes is just so bad.
Wait, I thought you liked that movie.
Rise of Skywalker? Oh, we'll talk about that later. I hate Rise of Skywalker. I like Last Jedi.
That's the one you like.
Yeah,
okay.
Rise of Skywalker is butthole.
It is butthole. I agree about that.
Worst movie I've ever seen, pretty much.
Well, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is pretty bad, too.
Okay, I mean, what... Like... It's like... It's so bad because of the fact that there are some good things in it, and I feel like that makes the bad feel even worse, because it's like, it is trying to do what Phase 4 didn't do. Like, Phase 4 was pretty directionless.
Yeah.
This one does set things in a course to an extent. But that almost makes the worst stuff even more frustrating because you're like, they're still doing this crap that we've been seeing for a while, and it's like, it was advertised to be a more dramatic Ant-Man movie.
It's just tone. They're having so much problem with tone. They can't commit.
Well, and what sucks about this one the most is that literally, like, you can't skip this movie. If you have any interest in the future of the MCU, this is integral.
It is integral.
Yeah, it's integral to the rest of it, and you can't skip it. It's like saying you need to watch Thor: The Dark World in order to accept the future MCU. Like, this movie is that bad. It's as bad as Thor: The Dark World, if not worse.
I kind of think Thor: The Dark World I would rather watch to an extent because at least it's like, you know, it's not.
It doesn't really have tone issues.
That's the thing. Yeah, it just is what it is. Yeah. Like, this one pissed me off.
Thor: The Dark World is just bad because of Malekith.
Malekith, the Dark Elf? Yeah. But it's like, literally. But I don't know. This is just a whole other thing. Like, and for me with Marvel movies, it's like, I don't know. I'm just like a pretty big Marvel fan in general to the point where like I wasn't too hard on Phase 4. Like some people like checked out pretty early into it and they're just like whatever. And I acknowledge Phase 4 has a ton of problems, but I stayed with it.
Yeah.
And I thought because I think it's gonna get better. But this movie like just really made me mad. And so I think that's like a problem because I've really been patient with it, and then this one just I don't know. This one just pissed me off because it's the same crap we saw. The lowest of the lows from Phase 4 are in this, and then we've got the highest of the highs with some of the Kang stuff.
Yeah, we've talked about the lows. Let's talk about the highs.
Paul Rudd. I feel bad saying I didn't like the movie because it makes me feel like I'm dissing Paul Rudd, but I really like Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd did just fine in this movie.
Yeah.
He played Ant-Man the way we all wanted and expected him to, and he, as an actor, did very well. Yes. He had his highs, his lows, his drama, his comedy, and I think he did as well as he could have.
He did.
Some of the other actors were okay.
That's the problem. It's like it's okay for Paul Rudd to be funny as Ant-Man, but then everyone else has to be dropping quippy one-liners the whole movie.
Yeah.
And no one has their own personality. And you get like there are like the characters, all the other characters just feel so pointless in it.
Yeah.
Except for Ant-Man and Kang, basically.
Well, it's not even like you're just following Ant-Man. You're following all of them.
Yeah.
There's 7 protagonists.
Too many.
7 protagonists that you're following. No. But maybe 5. Five protagonists. And they're all doing not great. Like, we have Michael Douglas, who is a phenomenal actor, who I felt just threw it in. He threw the towel in on this one.
I think they write his character so one-dimensional, though. They didn't give him to work with.
Yeah.
He had nothing. Michelle Pfeiffer, though, I feel like she had a lot to work with, and they're all working against green screens this entire movie.
That's true, yeah.
And I feel like they are maybe giving C+ performances.
Oh, man. The green screen part of it is just the CGI. Because it was all CGI, so CGI heavy, there were plenty of moments where it looked real bad.
Shockingly bad. For
Shockingly,
a 2023
shockingly
release,
bad.
It should not have looked that bad.
Oh, I agree about that. That did not look good. There are so many moments where you're going to get pulled out thinking, wait, what? What did I just see? That was weird.
And like, I go into all these movies being like, okay, there's going to be dumb jokes, just swallow it and move on. But then there were just like so many just utter cringe jokes that I heard Hudson react verbally a few times. Like, and I had the same thought, like I would literally just like hardy har, and like Hudson, but I heard Hudson go, what? Or just like, come on.
Point, what was the? I don't. It was just one female character saying to another, "Oh my God, you're so cool," and then I literally went, Oh God.
It was just such a forced moment. It felt so like Avengers.
It was very
spoon-fed equality.
Totally.
Yep.
Oh, but then they're trying to be equality pro here, but then they're also just giving the Wasp the worst things to do. No screen time. The movie is called Ant-Man and the Wasp, and you barely see her, I feel like.
Yeah, she didn't have much. She was just kind of there.
Yeah.
She really didn't do much. If anything, it should have involved more of her mother. No, yes, Cassie, but also Grandma, or what's her?
Janet.
Yeah. It should have involved more Janet because she was so quantum realm experienced.
But it did involve her, and I was depressed every time I saw her on screen.
Because they didn't give her nothing.
She was just an exposition delivery character, basically.
Yeah.
But
yes, Kang killed it. Kang made the movie watchable, made the movie bearable. Jonathan Majors nails his performance in this movie.
Sorry, our cat's being bad again. All right, yeah, Jonathan Majors did.
Cat, you say?
Yeah. Well, Jonathan, no, he does do an like literally. The time flew by when I was watching him on screen because it was like I wanted more of it. And it was just so interesting to watch that I did get sucked into the movie when he first gets introduced and he's on screen for like 20 minutes straight. That was the best part of the movie.
It tricks you, making you think that the movie might be good.
I know. I did actually like that. Pulled me back in 100%. And I thought, oh my gosh, if the whole second half is like this, it might be a pretty decent movie. And then after like 20 minutes, it goes back to just jokes. And then it's almost even worse because it's like the first half is just really jokey and light. Kang comes in and gets super serious. And then it's just trading off between serious and light the rest of the time. And it just feels so jarring.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, without spoilers, I think Kang is going to be a very clear equal to what Thanos was. Like
Thanos?
Thanos. To what Thanos.
Good old Uncle Thanos.
To what Thanos was. Like he is epic.
Yep,
he is multi-dimensional.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Like, he's a threat. He's a bigger threat than Thanos.
He has the potential to be a more interesting, compelling villain than Thanos, and I really like Thanos as a villain, but he has the potential to do that if he gets the right move. Like, it makes me excited to see him in just a purely dramatic MCU movie if they do that.
Overall, it was a bad movie, but a cool villain intro.
I give it like a D-.
You have to see it, though. You have to see it, unfortunately. If you have any interest in the MCU, you have to see it.
Yeah.
And you will be happy with Kang.
What about MODOK, though? He's in the trailer.
Oh, we didn't even talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get more spoiler heavy in the next video.
Yeah, I agree about that.
But MODOK will depress you.
Why? It's mind-boggling to put MODOK and Kang next to each other.
Why did they write him so poorly?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
And you'll find all of that out in the next spoiler
video.
Wait, are we cutting it?
That was it? That's where we ended?
Wow.
That was not clear.
That made you.
Peace. Why? Wait, so now what are we talking about?
Now we're
just coming back from an ad right now.
Oh.
Yeah, so
this
I wonder what they were peddling. That ad was peddling.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the continuation of The Boys Take Holly-wEiRd, where we're talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, but this one is full of spoilers.
Oh, good warning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie was really good stuff. I liked it a lot.
We just spent so much time talking about how bad it was.
Yeah,
and now you're going to come in saying it was good stuff?
I'm trying to, try to be positive about it. That's why I slept on it last night, but I woke up still hating it. I just don't like it. And as I was saying in the last video, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I know things are going to be jokey and dumb. It's going to be geared towards some, lowbrow humor. Just lowest common denominator type stuff, but this just was it. This one actually made me mad.
And we were able to forgive a lot with Marvel, I feel like.
I know.
I feel like we're able to look past a lot because it was a fun time. But even in the first 40 minutes of the movie, that's quote unquote supposed to be a fun time. The only fun I had was the dark, scary moments of Kang.
Yeah.
Though that's the fun I had watching the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't have fun watching these characters go to stupid restaurants and drink weird spider drinks and oozes and Bill Murray. I didn't have fun with any of that.
They should not have cast Bill Murray for that role. I love Bill Murray, but he did not. He did not fit the sort of tone in the world. Also, he is a big enough actor to where if you're casting him for a Marvel movie, make him a bigger character and give him something to work with.
You were saying Jeff Goldblum in Ragnarok.
That felt like what they were trying to do.
But he was a bigger character.
Much less, Jeff Goldblum in Ragnarok, I at least felt like I got enough of it and I enjoyed it.
And Bill Murray's great, but it felt like he was just kind of phoning it in too, like all the other actors. It felt like he was just there because it's a Marvel movie. Yeah, it's a paycheck.
I think we're all, like you said, we're forgiving them because we know A, what they're capable of, or B, excited what this is going to lead to. So we're just along for the bumpy ass ride that is going to get us to the end.
And I do
completely want to see it.
I completely understand why people are like not watching these movies anymore, for sure. But it's like I'm being very patient with them, and I'm like, whatever, I'll just keep up with it. It's at least there's some entertainment value, but this one just didn't even have that much entertainment value.
Yeah.
It was just I did
Kang
not.
was the
Kang and Paul Rudd. I would say
and Paul Rudd's good.
Okay, Kang and
Paul Rudd's plot was not good.
Yeah,
Paul Rudd's performance.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd's performance was good.
I agree. I
It was
agree about that.
specifically
Ant-Man was not good.
So many plot holes.
Wasp
So many plot
was
holes
not
in
good.
this, though. Cassie learns all about the quantum realm just from the Hank's journal full of notes
that's
about
a
the
new
quantum
thing.
realm. Yeah, off screen, and then she just builds this amazing tech out of nowhere.
Right, so that's a new MCU thing. No, in her garage, he specifies in the garage she built that. Which
what kind of supplies does he have in his garage?
Well,
so
think
she can
about
just build this thing.
Ant-Man Wakanda for awkward. My mind's going around here.
Ant-Man Wakanda
forever. I am actually trying to think. I was trying to reference that movie, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I really like that film. We all, I think, really like that movie. But probably one of the weaker points of it was Ironheart's character just built a bunch of Iron Man tech in her garage.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing. So it's like why it was such a special thing when like Tony Stark obviously spent years doing this stuff.
Yeah,
and
he built this
in a cave. Yes.
With a box of scraps.
Yeah. And it
But they showed the process,
Right.
and we were able to buy into it because
Exactly.
we saw the whole thing go down. So we were like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
It makes it not special at all when some college student can just build it in the garage for no reason off screen.
She just has this garage full of stuff, like full of high-tech stuff. We're like, where did she get this?
Well, and a major issue I have with the movie is the fact that we get into the quantum realm within the first 15 minutes. Like, the whole first act could have been Cassie figuring this stuff out while Ant-Man's off gallivanting around about with
trying
his,
to find
with his
himself
fame.
post-Avengers.
Yes.
that would have been interesting to see because
Right.
we
And
know
we
a
see
little
Cassie
bit about
actually being serious.
He
here.
wrote this book about saving the world, whatever, and he's trying to find himself beyond the Avengers. I would have been down to see more of a story like that if it were written well.
Yeah. We saw too much of the quantum realm. We
I know.
saw too much of it. To
Well,
the point where it's like
Too
you
much
just
of
get
it, and
totally
yet also
disgusted with it.
not enough of it,
Right.
which was
Well,
weird.
the problem I have too with the quantum realm is that it's like it doesn't look different than anything else. It doesn't look new or fresh. There's nothing there you haven't seen before, like you were saying, in a Star Wars movie or anything else. It's just the same crap we've seen in a bunch of CGI movies before. Shark Boy and Lava Girl, Spy Kids 3D.
Also,
generic bad Star Wars. Like it's just so.
In,
I'd rather watch Shark Boy and Lava Girl than that.
in Ant-Man 1, do you remember in Ant-Man the first how he got
Ant-Man.
out of the quantum realm? Do you remember? Do you remember how he did that? Anyone?
He got-
Anyone?
yes.
Can anyone here tell me how Ant-Man
Wait, do you
escaped
know the answer?
quantum- Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, run, go ahead.
He like overloaded his regulator
And he got
big.
big.
Yeah.
How many times in the quantum realm
Yeah.
did he get big?
Ooh, can I raise your question that doesn't have an answer that makes sense with another question that doesn't have an answer that makes sense? How come Janet Van Dyne in the Ant-Man and the Wasp post-credit scene is so gung-ho and okay with sending Scott Lang into the quantum realm without any warning of Kang? I thought about that one last night. At the post-credit scene, you know, where she's
Where
Ant-Man and the Wasp?
and
Where
then
they
disappear.
turn to dust while he's in the
Yeah.
quantum realm. She
She's-
was just so down with
she's
him
like,
going in there.
Cool.
Yeah, she's
And
like,
then-
we should explore this.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't even think about that.
Well,
Because
and
they
also-
didn't come up with the Kang being in the quantum realm till the last, whenever they started writing this movie.
And to prove that, you were also talking about how we see clips of them in the quantum realm and they're just like floating around in nothingness.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And when he was sucked into the quantum realm, he said he was in there for like, what, 5, 10, 15 minutes, and it happened to be 5 years in real time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they come out of the quantum realm in this movie, they've
So
been
black.
in there for hours.
Yes.
And they come out
So
right
black.
back into the
Yes.
same time zone that
Yep.
they left
Yep.
in. That doesn't make any sense.
I'm glad you brought that up because I thought about that one and forget to bring it up today. That's
God.
such a good point. That is such a lazy thing to not even try to explain. And then yet the other ants that went in there with them lived for generations and built a freaking civilization. Which, that's another thing. When the
Actually, I think that was mentioned when they were in the Ant Hill thing.
Right.
They built their own stuff there, and all of that got sucked. So they already essentially had it.
But it's just like
all the ants had that.
But it's just like how convenient that the ants.
The ants got sucked.
How convenient that the ants got sucked in and ended up there for all that time.
Yeah.
But like that didn't happen to our main character.
Yeah, and then they're just trying to call Hank. Or whatever. Is his name Hank?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Bill Murray calls him Henry.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well,
after he plowed his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird humor that I didn't care about either.
Oh, God.
It didn't matter
how many
either.
holes bit
The
that
holes,
they did?
yeah.
That was f***ing weird.
It's just like
that was absolute weirdness.
Yeah. The whole stuff was weird. That guy with the little jelly guy.
Yeah.
Who's just so curious about holes.
And hopefully if you're listening to this, you have seen the movies, you know what we're talking about.
Oh, you guys know the holes guy.
Innuendo thing about Scott Lang having holes, 7 of them.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, totally.
Hardy, hardy, har. They're talking about the penis.
And the butt.
And the
stuff.
butt.
The only thing...
Okay, butthole's pretty funny, though.
Aside from...
God, 12-year-old would think that's insane.
Butthole's pretty funny.
Penis hole's not funny. Butthole, that's funny.
Here's the thing. A 12-year-old watching that, 12, 13-year-old might think that's pretty dang funny. The majority of the true fans of the MCU that have been in this from the beginning that are still excited to or wanting it to stay good are much older.
I think I laughed one time in the movie, and it was at the very beginning when he's getting like donuts or something, and the guy's like, "Thank you, Spider-Man."
That's pretty
and
funny.
that's in the trailer.
Yeah.
That's the only time I laughed, and then every other joke, I was so pissed.
Well, and then when they brought him back again at the end, I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah,
too
I
much.
was fine with that.
Too much.
Oh,
you were fine with
I
that?
was gonna say
I liked the
Did you
fact
like
that
him coming
I
back
liked
in?
the fact that he charged Ant-Man.
Yeah, I like the fact that he charged
because
him.
he like
he's not Spider-Man.
Yeah. I thought that was funny
That was
because
funny.
he finally recognizes that he's Ant-Man, but
You
it's
do
just
get
worse.
the big and the small, and then
Yeah.
$12.
That was kind of fun. Like the comedy in the real world actually kind of made me laugh because it just felt like more traditional Ant-Man. It was just like, okay, this is just Ant-Man being Ant-Man, wandering around. He's like being kind of silly. That's what you expect from Paul Rudd. Then they go to the quantum realm, and then it's just like every living being here acts like the silly beings in Earth or that we see everywhere else. Like there's just. Why can't it just be like a serious civilization of these rebels that are fighting because that's what they're doing? They're trying to survive.
Why would they be so silly?
Why would they
They
be?
literally are running and fighting for their lives.
And they all have Gen Z humor. You're right.
Yeah,
like
literally. Dude,
like,
that's
wouldn't they have? Yeah, you're right. They're their own tribe. They're their own people. Like,
I'll tell you what. I wanted to get up and walk out. I'm not even kidding. That's when I thought, Like I was in it. I was locked in, and then they were cheering on him to drink the ooze, and I thought, okay, this is getting weird. And then he drank the ooze, and then they all go, ah! And they all just start acting so silly, and I was like, oh no, they're all gonna act silly. Yeah. And like that even happens as much as I love Guardians of the Galaxy. That happens in that too. It's like every planet they go to, you can have these tough-looking warriors, and then 5 minutes in, they break the tension by you realize they just have silly comedy.
Yeah,
they're all the same sense of humor.
Well, and with that ooze, it's a missed opportunity. I feel like how interesting would it have been if they had to fight through language barriers?
Yeah.
Like the fact that they
don't have
just
time
drink
for
this
that.
ooze immediately, and then they just jump forward in the plot. Like it
Yeah.
just makes it so
Yeah.
easy for them.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
So we could have more time with Bill Murray and stupid drinks and restaurants.
Why did you need that scene to be as long as it was? I mean, yeah, because what significant thing does Bill Murray do in the movie? He tells them about MODOK.
Oh, does he?
Yes,
Yeah.
he breaks the news about MODOK.
He says the acronym. He doesn't say MODOK, but he says he's the... But it's the classic Marvel thing where he introduces the idea of MODOK and actually kind of sounds cool at first. Unfortunately, I had heard ahead of time that MODOK was going to suck ass. So that whole scene, I was already mad hearing him. But he's like, I can't think of what it stands for. Mechanized something killing whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like
There's
saying
an F in there because Paul Rudd said
mechanism only designed... No, wait. Mechanism... Something designed only for killing.
Yeah, that sounds right. And he's and Bill Murray's describing him. There's like, music that sounds intense and stuff, and then you see him.
Well,
as soon as his helmet lifted up,
Jesus.
oh my god!
And then they kept lifting it.
that's the thing, though. We were looking at
Stop showing his face.
We were looking at comic pictures of MODOK, and it's an exact replica of what the comics look like.
Yeah.
But why would you make it look like that? Why wouldn't you adapt it for the
Yeah, it's
Big
like one of the
screen,
classic cases of you could see people defending it by being like, well, that's how it looks in the comics.
Or at
like,
least
that
just
doesn't mean
make
it's
him
good.
Reevy and not
Yes.
stupid.
Yeah.
That's the other thing,
God,
yeah.
he was so stupid.
That is the thing, like, you were saying the comic ones all look kind of stupid, but at least in the comic ones, it's like he looks angry and kind of, I wouldn't even say intimidating, but like he has like texture to his face.
If he's designed
this is
only
just
for
that
killing,
actor's
too,
face.
make him more of a killer.
Yeah,
make
did
him
he
more of a
kill
threat.
once?
He was hardly a threat. He like gave them a little bit of trouble here and there.
Cassie kicked his ass the first time they fought.
Literally.
Cassie, who apparently didn't
Nothing.
even know how to do the jump punch move because Ant-Man was teaching her that, and then she's a freaking mechanized killing machine and takes him out.
Then they both get big, but still not big, but not like big enough, but they're quantum realm big. And
I would have much preferred if MODOK was just Darren in his Hornet costume. Like, that would have been way more scary.
That would have been way more scary, way more cute.
Like, there's just literally no reason for him
This
to be
guy
brought
should
back.
be angry and intimidating. He should be worse than he was in Ant-Man. He should be 10 times worse. Scott Lang kicked his ass and sent him to the quantum realm, and he's been living there for who knows how long. And like, he should be angry.
And MODOK undermines how badass Kang is, because why would Kang have a second in command like that?
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, that scene where Kang shoots MODOK up against the wall and is like, quiet you, essential. I was just hoping he'd just kill him right there and get rid of him. But then no, MODOK has to hang around the rest of the freaking movie.
Yeah,
so that he can have a redemption
like, don't
arc.
talk in my presence or something like that. But it was also like, wait, so then what is their relationship?
Yeah.
Who is MODOK?
Why do you have
Why do you have him there if you really hate him that much?
Because he's the one that rebuilt, like, helped him survive and stuff, and like, put him in that machine. But I don't believe that this Kang would do that to MODOK and have him as a second in command, because MODOK was so stupid.
I agree.
MODOK undercut a lot of it.
I did love
most of it.
The scene where she sees Kang's whole past when she touches his ship.
Janet, yeah.
And she
That
sees the
was
past
fun,
of him just weaving and
that was good.
rolling through all those other timelines and planets and just destroying them.
God,
freaking cool.
Kang's scream look is so badass.
Where he
he has the blue, and then he
just
like throws his arms down and
yes.
just
Super cool.
annihilates people.
Super cool. God.
Well, let's
out
expand
of
on Kang for a minute, talk about the good of it, and then we can do some more bad if we have more.
Yeah, I think overall, like, if you look at the plot of the movie, the point was obviously to introduce Kang.
Yep.
So if you're looking at the overall plot of the movie, are you satisfied?
No. No. That's the weird thing.
Considering Kang's introduction.
I'm satisfied with
Kang's character.
Let me tell you what
but that
I
was
did.
the point of the movie. Okay, maybe point and plot different.
Yes.
Different things.
When I walked into this movie, I had a feeling it was going to be bad, and I heard some things from other people, so I told myself, all I want is for Kang to be cool, and I will like this movie. And then Kang was cool, and I
still
didn't
didn't
like the movie. Yeah, that's the problem. Even though I set my expectations that low, because it's like, he was so cool, but then it felt like there just wasn't even enough. Like, I just wanted him so much more in it. Like, take these jokes out and put Kang in more. And then it's just, that didn't happen. And then Kang would be so cool, and then it would just go back to just bullshit. And I don't know. I did really like Kang. I loved Kang. Kang was awesome. But that almost makes me more depressed, because he didn't deserve to get introduced in a movie this bad.
They also just, like we had talked about before, they kind of wrote his level of power all over the place.
Yeah, they did.
He was crazy strong and really good at fighting, and then he's weak and he's not really. I mean, he was a good fighter the whole time, but then like his laser beams were just like murdering people, and then Ant-Man and the crew were all fine against it. Like they were just kind of getting hurt.
They can take the same blast that the other people can and be fine, even though, like we were saying, it's not like his suit is made of vibranium or some crazy metal. It's mostly leather, as you were saying. It seems to be mostly leather, and it's just like, why can Ant-Man take so much damage when he's basically just in a leather suit? Like they're shooting
Wasp and Cassie.
They're shooting rockets and lasers at them. These lasers that are vaporizing freaking laser beams.
Yeah, which also, why didn't he use those on the ants?
That's the thing. Hud and I were talking about.
He just went with a force field instead of laser beaming those ants.
When he gets that, actually, I'm not like, I get that every movie has some, like in the third act, it goes back to the ants and the ants do something. They kind of like come in as like a Ex Machina type thing and save it. And that's part of it. And it's been okay in the other movies, but this one just pissed me off for some reason. When a cavalry of ants came in and defeated Kang, I thought, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, a cavalry of ants, why can't he vaporize them?
Yeah.
why can't he vaporize them? It makes Kang look so stupid after he looks so cool, and it's just for plot convenience. And then, like, I'm sorry, but, like, he should have kicked Ant-Man's ass in that fight.
He did kick Ant-Man's
but
ass. But
why did he let it go on? So it's that classic thing of, like, it's because he has plot armor. Like, why don't you just kill him as fast as you're killing everybody else? And Scott Lang's a human being, so you'd be able to do it so easy. But it's just because it's Ant-Man, and we're not going to kill. I don't know. They should, in my opinion, if they're not going to kill off Ant-Man, they should have killed off Wasp. Maybe not the Doctor. They should have killed off Wasp. At the very least, Hank
could have like sacrificed himself to save Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah,
but that would have been way cooler. We don't need Hank.
We don't need Hank. We don't need Janet.
They should have
would have been a perfect send off for Janet.
God, that would have been a really good send off for Janet if she risks herself to go in and like do one last thing to save them. Yeah, to save them from freaking Kang. God, that would have been so much better.
Yep. It's just a shame there's no stakes.
But to combat that, unfortunately, there are so much stakes in this movie because if Kang is released, then so much hell will be released.
Yeah.
But it's undermined because it doesn't feel like there's stakes. It doesn't feel like there's stakes for the characters. It's just stakes because it's setting up the new phase.
I just wish they had handled the end of Kang in this movie better, and that he did. I know he's still around, and that there's still all the other Kangs and stuff, but like, I just wish they had navigated it better, because it's like they were trying to do the thing of like they couldn't get rid of him, but like he still needed to be defeated because he was the villain of this movie, and I just hated that. I wish that he had a victory.
Yeah, and where did he go? We don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I wish he didn't
into the Quantumania realm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which he could have had that victory by making Ant-Man and the Wasp be stuck in the quantum realm, like how they kind of hinted at, and then it's immediately
all
reversed.
of a sudden the door just opens again for them to come back.
Yeah. That would have been a cool ending if they were stuck there.
Yeah.
That would have been stakes. If they were stuck there, if Janet was stuck there, and then they're afraid to go back because they don't want to let Kang out, so they're afraid to open that door again, and that's kind of what keeps them from going back to save whoever's stuck there.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been... There's some real tension there.
Yeah.
So going back to your question, I did not like the plot, but I did enjoy the point of the movie. The point is to introduce Kang. Right. And I am extremely excited to see more of Kang. Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that. I also wish that we would have seen a little bit more depth from Ant-Man. Like, we had made a joke last night about how funny we were hoping for him in the final fight when he's fighting Kang to say something like, I can do this all day, like a true Captain America line, but like to see him sort of try to carry on what the Avengers and what Captain America meant to him, and to just have this sort of attitude of like, now I'm one of the head Avengers and I'm gonna do this until I die. Yeah. To see him sort of carry on that same attitude would have been perfectly represented by that line right there. Yeah. And it would have, like, it's such a funny, stupid little thing, but if they had said that, I would have loved it.
Yeah,
I would have loved it if he had said that line.
No, but
instead we get a lot of things.
Instead we get Baskin Robbins.
Instead we get Baskin Robbins
and all that.
God, that scene looked so bad when there's so many Ant-Mans.
And it was just bad humor too, just
replicated.
Just all around not great. MODOK sucked. His redemption was pointless and stupid and sucked.
But my overall review of this movie is go see it. Go see it because 1, you need to if you care about the MCU, and 2, it's worth it because Kang is so bad ass.
But I wouldn't tell anybody that like Phase 5 is necessarily off to a strong start by any means. Kang is
Our
cool.
Villain is.
The villain is. But Phase 5, everything else, I know. But
because
now,
are we going to get...
I just don't want to only get there once we get to...
the very end.
The last 2 movies.
Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars.
I don't want to wait till then.
That's already in 2 years, though.
I know.
I think it is going to be fast.
But what I'm saying is I don't want...
We're expecting a lot before that.
I don't want the next serious movie we see to be those 2. I want there to be more in between here and there that does not feel like what we just saw. And quite frankly now, I'm not so sure that's going to happen.
Well, and it's interesting that they've said that Deadpool is going to carry so much weight because he's such a goofball character that for his movie to come in with all of this heavy weight to it is going to be interesting to see if they pull it off. It's going to be too jokey or too goofy with such an intense...
Does that
or
come
if it's
out,
going to serious up a little bit?
Come out before the Avengers movies?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like next year or something?
Next year.
And then Fantastic Four...
2024.
Yeah, before... I mean, that's also before Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty.
Blade, too?
Yeah, Blade's. I don't know when Blade is.
I read something today that they just began casting for Fantastic Four, and they're starting with Sue Storm, and then they're going to build the cast around her.
Oh, interesting.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, that is cool.
But I honestly am going to be bummed if we don't get John Krasinski as Reed Richards.
I've been hearing rumors we're not.
Yeah,
I've been hearing
I have
rumors
no
we're not
idea.
Also,
I'm starting to now think that we're not, and that it was more just Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was just like a head nod to the fan casting of it, and that they're just gonna do their own thing. Which, whatever. I'm still just excited to see Fantastic Four. I don't know. I don't know. This bummed me out because I wanted Phase 5 to not have the same crap that Phase 4 had, and it's like got a really cool villain with a bunch of crap over it. Oh god, it just wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. I don't know. And it's like, that's what I think why, like, they did the same thing in a way, but I actually enjoyed Thor Love and Thunder more than this, which I think that movie's very problematic, has a lot of bad humor in it, but at least it's not like trying to set up the next big villain, so I think that's partly why I like could walk out of that and be like, okay, whatever. But they did the similar thing of like having an incredible actor play a really dramatic villain, and then just surrounding it in fluff and stupid humor. Like, it's like, why is that villain in this movie?
Yeah. I think a plus for Phase 5, though, is the fact that, like, with Thanos, we never really saw him until Infinity War. We are starting this phase with a whole lot of Kang, which is giving us the possibility that he can become a way deeper character, if they do it right, obviously. I think that's exciting. Yeah. That's something I'm looking forward to, is seeing more, just more of him. That's where all of my hope is in Kang. For this phase.
I mean,
because Kang was so cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be spending, I think, most of this phase, like, building stronger and better. And then Kang Dynasty, I mean, that's just going to be a whole movie of him, I think, which is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
But also, the after-credits scene, let's talk about it. Both of them. Yeah. Because the first one was a little bit, I mean, you just see all these different, like, Kang variants, and they're the ones who potentially, like, outcast him or banished him or whatever.
Yeah.
That's... There's a lot to unpack there that we don't really know yet.
One. There's an Egyptian Kang, which that costume kind of looked weird.
Yeah, it did look weird.
And
then there's all those other Kangs that are just kind of in the audience of it all.
Right.
Yeah. They're just all excited to kill the one Kang, I think.
And those are
Is that what they're excited about? We have no idea.
Well, I think based on Loki.
Loki explained a good chunk of that to an extent, but I'm still kind of confused on some of it. You should watch Loki, but I mean, he kind of recaps Loki a little bit in this movie.
Then the after credits scene. Yeah, that one had a major Loki reference. Obviously.
Yeah, that one I didn't understand at all.
No, we've got to watch the show.
Yeah,
Brandon, I think you can just spoil it.
But I mean, it's just okay. I mean, how much do you care? It's.
I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it too. I don't care if you spoil it.
I mean, you probably won't really remember much, but anyways. Okay, so at the end of Loki Season 1, spoilers here, people. If you haven't seen it, you should probably see it.
Skip ahead 5 minutes if you haven't seen it.
So, Loki Season 1, the TVA, Time Variance Authority, that place that created the Sacred Timeline, all that stuff. That's where Loki is with Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson's like, wow. And then they're like going on missions and anyway, there's a whole bunch of stuff happening. They're chasing down variants, chasing down a Loki variant for most of the show, another version of Loki. It's a whole thing. And then at the end, they are trying to figure out like who runs the TVA, and they find out that it's this guy named He Who Remains, and it is a variant of Kang that they get to, but it's not this Kang that we just saw. It's like a completely different Kang, but it's like, I'm a little vague on it because I haven't seen it in a while, but this Kang, essentially, like, he runs the TVA, and he, like, basically, like, if he dies, then it allows all of the other Kangs to then branch out and escape their timelines again. And spoiler alert, he dies. He dies, because of Loki and the variant, what they do. He dies, and then, like, that's one of the final scenes of Loki. It's actually pretty epic. You see, like, the sacred timeline, like, splitting off in all these different directions, which is just, so all the Kangs are, like, free now.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. Loki's pretty cool. Loki's good.
Yeah,
Loki's 10 times better than anything we just saw last night. All the way through. Yeah, there's some jokes in it, but it's...
I think so. I mean, you have really strong actors in that, too. With a show, you can write a little bit stronger, I think.
So with that after credit scene, what's the point of it?
Just all the okay. So now I think it's I think that these Kangs are gonna like start going out and like creating a multiversal war now because they. I don't know. I'm a little confused on that because at the end were they saying that this Kang's dead? I mean, I don't know that he necessarily is, but I think they're under the impression now that this Kang is dead and gone. And I'm still a little, like, I don't know. I think we haven't had all the questions answered either. A lot of it's still, like, comic book stuff.
We just know that those Kangs are on the same team.
They're on the same team. They're ready to start a multiversal war. And, yeah, that's what they're going to do, sounds like, because that leads to Secret Wars. So, yeah. And then, yeah, that was just basically, so then that, I think then that clip, the second scene that we saw with Owen Wilson and him at the end looking at that Kang, that version of Kang is just, I think season 2 is probably going to be a lot of like them trying to maybe start to hunt down variant versions of Kang or something now that they're all like loose, which is cool because season 1 was all about them hunting down Loki variants, and now I think they're going to be like looking like, oh, the real threat we got to hunt down is these Kang variants. So I'm hoping this Jonathan Majors might end up being in Loki season 2 a lot.
Oh, I bet he will.
I hope he's in everything.
Yeah.
Right now. Oh my God,
honestly,
he should be in every other movie, or I don't know. I would be fine with just a different Kang variant or two in every movie, honestly. Gosh.
Well, let's hope Guardians of the Galaxy is better.
Well, it will be. I mean, James Gunn at least. So, James Gunn usually doesn't disappoint. So, we'll see. We'll see. This movie.
I think the
great.
stakes for Guardians 3 look really high.
Oh yeah, I think so. And 1 and 2 were good.
1 and 2 are good. He does a very good job of balancing comedy and drama.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Much better. I agree. There's maybe in any Guardians movie, there's only 1 or 2 jokes that really bother me, but most of them I'm like fine with. He balances because he doesn't undercut the drama with humor. He does it he knows the order to do it in. Like he leaves the movie like Guardians 2 ends on a heavy note. He doesn't do something heavy and then cut it with a joke.
It's called comedic relief.
Yeah,
it's not we're not watching Marvel movies aren't supposed to be comedies. They're supposed to be drama actions with comedic relief.
You know why Michael Pena wasn't in this movie? Why? Because every character's comedic relief. You don't need him.
Yeah.
You don't need him.
It's true.
God,
I was really disappointed he wasn't in it.
Yeah, God, the one funny thing I wanted. The
funny part that we wanted.
The recap bit. He could have recapped Paul Rudd's life since Endgame in that first opening scene.
He should have been the one to record the audiobook for
for
Ant-Man's book.
That would
I think we just proved how much this movie shot and missed on every level.
I think we just proved how we can write for Marvel.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Well, Marvel, if you're listening, sign us up.
Hire us.
Don't listen to the first 30 minutes of this video, though.
Yeah, I agree about that. The final thing I'll say is that Kevin Feige has been doing a lot of like public comments criticizing the way things have gone in the last couple of years with Marvel, including like cutting back on the shows, saying there's way too many shows, and cutting it back to where he's only going to release 2 within the next year, and so like actually focusing a little bit more on quality over quantity.
I would hope so, because that's what it seems like they're doing. It's just too much.
And I think this movie, and I think he's also made a few comments about the tonal issues too. I think this movie slipped through the cracks kind of before he started really saying that, because this movie, obviously the script was written a long time ago, like couple years ago probably, and it's been in production for a while. So like I'm still not gonna lose hope yet, because he's been saying all these things, saying he's gonna make all these changes. So we'll see.
God, I miss Iron Man. Yeah. I think about where we started, and it's so different now than where we started. And the first chunk of the Marvel universe was so good.
Yeah.
They fell into critical success around Phase 3, and that was when we were getting these Guardians movies and the Ant-Man movies and Thor Ragnarok, and they realized that they just have to stick to that formula and they can't move away from it.
A few of those were fun, and those were enjoyable when it wasn't every movie.
Exactly.
I think Guardians was a major tonal change for MCU, because that's when it started to get more fun and more goofy, because that's kind of what Guardians was, and people loved it because it stood out so much.
Yeah.
And also, then they just started to float in that direction more and more and more, and then Thor Ragnarok was like the next big one like that was it was goofy and funny, and everyone was like, oh, that was so good, because it was really good, and then they just kept rolling with it. We're like, okay, yeah, we get it, like, let's get back on track.
Diminishing returns.
That's exactly what it is. Thank you, Nick.
We're only going to complain more.
Now,
yeah. We'll probably call it with that, because you'll see how... Well, yeah, I'm not telling you not like this movie. If you like it, more power to you.
Yeah.
You're a better person than me, I guess.
I think people should see it, and they should still continue to support Marvel, but the audience needs to be more out loud about how we feel about these things, so that maybe the executives will start to
You should start a petition.
I know. For what? What's the petition for, Nick?
What's the talking out loud about our problems for?
That's just multiple thoughts. What is a petition for one thing? What is that one thing that a petition would be for? That's not helpful.
And with
that's not helpful.
We'll call it.
Okay.
Let's just move on to a different.
Start a.
And we will catch you on the flippity flop later.